The Toronto Raptors win streak is over at 9. Well, so much for that. They say don't count your chickens before they hatch. The Detroit Pistons did the Raptors a huge favor last night and lost to the Orlando Magic. And I was eyeing that number one seed, man. It's been a long time since the Toronto Raptors been a number one seed. But I had said, I don't think this Charlotte team is an easy win. I think I cautioned this 2 days ago. I said, I don't know if we win this game against Charlotte, and people think I'm crazy. I'm not crazy. This Charlotte team is actually pretty good, and I think they're a lot better than their record shows. And there's some teams that just don't match up well, man. And there's certain players that don't match up well, and there's a lot to be talked about in this game. The Raptors were up the entire game. The entire game. The Hornets took their first lead in overtime. This is the first time the Toronto Raptors have actually gone to overtime. Marwan, you keep calling in. Can you please wait 15 minutes? I tried to ask you that before the show, but can you please stop calling in? And just we'll take call-ins after 15 minutes. It just kind of clutters my screen. Thank you so much, man. So the Toronto Raptors get a really big performance from Scottie Barnes. They get what I consider to be an absolute disaster class down the stretch from Emmanuel Quickley. And right now, it looks like the Detroit Pistons are probably going to beat the Miami Heat. And so that one game little lead there, this military man is probably overkill here. But it is interesting to see Charles Lee, another young coach, and he decided, forget the seniority, forget the pecking order. I'm just going to bench LaMelo Ball and Brandon Miller. I don't care that they're lottery picks. I don't care that they're big time names and talents. No, Musa Diabate, Con Knipple, Miles Bridges, these guys, Colin Sexton, this is working for my team. I want to win a basketball game. Now, Charles Lee called this team out big time 4 days ago. He said, Thanksgiving, go to Thanksgiving. And this team won last night. So this was a schedule loss. Okay. Now, I will address the referees very clearly. The Raptors got jobbed by the referees tonight. I don't think that it was pretty. I don't think the refs were fair tonight. I think there was multiple plays where the Raptors had to burn coaches' challenges on the most obvious plays, most obvious passes. The Raptors defense held up for about 46 minutes, 45 minutes. They went through an intense scoring drought. There's a lot of overreactions that could be had from last night or from tonight. You could say, oh my God, see, this is why the Toronto Raptors need RJ Barrett. They would have never lost this game had they had RJ Barrett. I think you very well could have lost this game with RJ Barrett. You might overreact, and I don't agree with that, by the way. I don't agree with that. Jacoby Walter had some struggles offensively. That travel underneath the basket was egregious, but I don't think he's really the reason you lose tonight. There's some, Darko should be fired stuff. And I don't really think Darko should be fired, obviously, because he's one of my favorite coaches in the league. But I definitely think he had a lot that he can clean up tonight. A lot. And in fairness, I really don't think that his rotations were it tonight. Allowing Emmanuel Quickley to go one-on-one and get hunted by Miles Bridges over and over again tonight is just not it. The Toronto Raptors had a lot of breakdowns. They did not look prepared. They looked like the more tired team, and they were the ones that should have been fresh coming in. Jan, I'm going to say the same thing to you that I said to Marvin. We're not taking callers for the first 15 minutes, man. We got an entire film breakdown to go through, so appreciate you trying to get ahead of line. When calls are open, I promise you, I will do that. The reason, because I think a lot of nonsense is going to be said on these calls. So I'd like to give y'all 15 to 20 minutes to chill out. We're not taking callers for the first 15 to 20 minutes. We're going to do the entire film breakdown. We're going to do the analysis. Then we will take callers. And if you still want to crash out at that point, I will be happy to listen. So, I mean, this was just not fun, man. This was not fun. I mean, the Toronto Raptors have just an abysmal time, in that fourth quarter, just putting points on the board. And at that point, I feel maybe a Jamison battle could have helped, something like that, like an injection of fresh legs, maybe. The Raptors didn't have it. They didn't get anything from Ochai Agbaji, missed a dunk, missed his three, didn't look confident. The disaster class down the stretch with Quickley, man. Oh, man. Oh, man. Quickly. And that Ingram defense on that corner shooter, I liked Ingram's defense for the most part tonight. He participated, he worked hard, but I did not love Brandon Ingram's process tonight. There's a lot to be taken away from that. So let's take a look at a little bit of what happened. First of all, the win streak that was 9 straight, the longest win streak, second longest win streak in the NBA. The OKC Thunder have won 11 straight after last night, but the Raptors will once again have to start over tomorrow. And it doesn't get easier because they go into New York tired after playing OT. This was a game that should have been over. They were up 17 and then started messing around. And you mess around and you find out, you give a team a little bit of confidence. The Raptors move to 14-6. Look, man, this is the win probability for the Toronto Raptors. 5 minutes to go. It is 100-90. You have a 97% win probability. And you just can't score. You can't score. You don't score again until the 1 minute mark, which means you go 4 minutes without a bucket and they score 10 straight. And it wasn't LaMelo Ball. If you didn't watch this game, it wasn't LaMelo Ball. It wasn't Brandon Miller. It wasn't that. It was Miles Bridges, Zion James, Ryan Cockbrenner, Colin Sexton, over and over. The Toronto Raptors' 2 weakest defenders got hunted multiple times. They couldn't come up with loose balls. They had a lot of offensively deficient players. A lot. Okay. Someone saying BI is tired. Okay. So pass the ball. Pass the ball. There's no reason to have a 7'3" wingspan and not put an arm up on the best shooter on the court with the game on the line. That is the last thing in the world. And he got hunted by a rookie and got exposed by a rookie. So look, man, this is not a, break the glass. It's panic time. It's one loss. Yes, let's be reasonable. It's one loss. But this loss is a lot like some of those Raptors wins where the Raptors process has been bad. The game against Brooklyn, ironically, the last game against Charlotte. It seems that there are certain players on this team, quite frankly, that take opportunities against bad teams to kind of try some shit offensively. I don't think you can put this loss on Jakob Poeltl. I really don't. I understand that Colin Murray Boyles hasn't hit a shot in what feels like a month, but I feel like he worked really, really hard. I feel like he worked really hard tonight. Off the ball, you can see, Grady on a cross match with Moussa Diabate. He's working his butt off. He's trying to get over. Jacoby Walter, he's trying to get over. Emmanuel Quickley, though, I did not like this game tonight from Emmanuel Quickley. I did not like this game from Emmanuel Quickley. I think Scottie Barnes played a damn near perfect game. Damn near perfect, bro. The only mistake I think he made was in overtime passing to Emmanuel Quickley, who proceeded to just, dribbled into 2 defenders. Just terrible process. The Toronto Raptors get a 22 points on 26 shot attempts performance from Brandon Ingram, who missed everything down the stretch. 6 rebounds, 4 assists, 3 turnovers, 0 steals, 0 blocks tonight. -11 on the court. They get an 8-point, 11 rebound, 9 assist, near triple-double from Jakob Poeltl. He had a season high in assists. I think he was connecting everything. They get a 9 for 20 performance from Emmanuel Quickley. Again, Brandon Ingram and Emmanuel Quickley took 46 shots to get 44 points. This is not efficient offense. It's not exactly what you want, okay? Emmanuel Quickley had 10 assists to 3 turnovers. I did not love his passing process late in this game. Early in the game, I was singing his praises. He was finding, guys in transition, finding up open shooters. Quickley just kind of got into his own way later in this game. You say disaster class, Robbie, at 22 and 10. How is that a disaster class? What are you expecting from him? Well, for a person who's going to dominate the ball as much as he did, I expect you to be able to create better looks down the stretch. The offense got stagnant. The Raptors couldn't get into their sets, and he got hunted defensively. Is it his fault that he can't guide Miles Bridges? No, that's on Pat Delaney and Darko Rajakovic. You need to help him out. And the Raptors decided to start the fourth. They decided to start overtime going ultra small with Jamal Shed and Emmanuel Quickley. That didn't help either. So thinking that maybe we'll get a little bit more ball handling on the court, I don't think the Raptors matched up well with Moussa Diabate. I don't think they matched up well with Ryan Cockbrenner tonight. They definitely didn't have a great matchup. They have a great matchup for Miles Bridges, which is Scottie Barnes, but Scottie Barnes can't do 3 things. Okay, Scottie can't be boxing out Moussa Diabate on one possession and in the same possession closing out to the corner for Miles Bridges. Can't do that. And Miles Bridges, He did almost all of his damage inside the arc. It was mid pick and roll over and over and over. Just spammed it to death. Okay. And the Raptors couldn't figure it out. And I do not understand it completely. The Hornets did not get a great game from LaMelo Ball. He had 14 points in 22 minutes, sat almost the entire second half, especially in the fourth quarter. When the Hornets made their comeback, LaMelo Ball and Brandon Miller were nowhere in sight. Nowhere. They got a plus 19 from Moussa Diabate and a plus 23 from Colin Sexton. Again, that is what Charles Lee was talking about when he called this team out. He said, we got to look at ourselves in the mirror, go have your Thanksgiving meal, and they have just won 2 straight. That's coaching, right? Pen in panic mode, y'all. I'm not in panic mode. I'm good. I actually said I very much expect us to split one of these games as a loss. Now I'm kind of expecting us to lose both. That's okay. That might be it. Okay. Overall, I think Scottie had a really good game. You get 30 points on 16 shots, 12 rebounds, 5 assists. Needed him to take more shots, man. Needed him to take more shots. This is your 40 piece right here. I don't know why Scottie does that sometimes, but he does. The Raptors win the offensive rebound battle. We're not used to this. The Raptors win the rebound margin significantly. 52-39 is not a lack of trying, which is why I say I do not hold this loss against the bigs. I hold this loss against the wings and the guards. Okay, that's what it comes down to, because Colin Murray-Boyles crashing the glass. Sandro Mamukelashvili crashing the glass. These guys played physical. They played hard. I do not know what they're going to have tomorrow night in the tank. Again, the Hornets shoot 26% from 3 and win this basketball game. How do they win this basketball game? Well, one major culprit might be the fact that they got to the line 29 times, and the Raptors, who probably attacked the rim way more than they did, only got 17 free throws. The refs, honestly, they won this game for the Hornets tonight. The late game execution, that was not on the refs. That was on the Raptors. But early in this game, when the Hornets kept keeping it within 10, this should have been a 25-point lead. It should have been a 25-point lead. The Raptors thoroughly outplayed this team, knocked them out, unfortunately. And I mean, it wasn't even like early in the game. There was like some sort of ball movement problem. The Raptors had 34 assists on 44 made field goals in 4.5 quarters. So, I mean, this is the recipe for success is here. But the Raptors just could not stop Miles Bridges in the middle. And look, man, if you want an honest like assessment of this, you have a certain type of player that you just don't guard well. And he's that type of player. Moussa Diabate is that type of player. And you got to look at this, man. Giannis is that type of player too. You've lost to him, right? Who have we lost to? We've lost to a lot of physical wings. We've lost to a lot of big bigs, okay? Athletic bigs. And we have trouble with this because we don't have a lot of athleticism up front. We don't have a lot of, size up front. Mamu gives up size. Ingram gives up size. Even Scottie gives up size. These guys can work their tails off, but this is more of a Bobby Webster problem. This is go get Day'Ron Sharpe. Go get a big physical body who can keep guys off the glass, right? Today I learned that IQ is young. Well, hey, man, 26. He's over a decade younger than me. So, yeah, I guess he's pretty young. Okay, let's take a look at the film, and then we will get to the callers. I'm sure y'all want to crash out, man, but it is just one game. I will remind you, it is just one game. And yes, midway through this game, you could not have convinced me in a million years that the Raptors were going to lose this game. That felt hard to believe. Okay. We will take a look also at the fact that the Raptors NBA Cup matchup, the Knicks, who they will see tomorrow night, that has been set. Take a look at that. And we will also take a look at a brief Jacoby Walter teaser in terms of what he does defensively. Okay, so in terms of the start, again, it's kind of hard to talk about positive plays because we're all kind of crashing out that we lost here. But the Toronto Raptors, I think they got off to a pretty decent start here. You look at this first play here from Scottie Barnes, just barely. And this is why LaMelo's on the bench, right? This is why LaMelo Ball is on the bench. Reckless closeout, doesn't shift, gives a clean blow by, way too weak to do anything. And if LaMelo just deters this a little bit, allows Kalkbrenner to get back into play, instead Kalkbrenner gets posterized because LaMelo Ball don't play defense. He's actually playing the best defense of his career right now. Here, it's actually Bridges who loses Scottie in the corner, and this is not an open three. This contest right here, Miles Bridges, who is no one's idea of a good defender, contested a Scottie three better than Ingram contested a Con Knipple three with the game on the line. So this is a perfectly fine contest, and Scottie Barnes is going to hit it anyway. Shout outs to Scottie. Okay, moving on. I said Scottie Barnes is like that, but there are some people who think he's not even better than Carlos Boozer. And of course, the people who watch PC, you know what that's a call out to. Here, Brandon Miller. This is the reason why Brandon Miller went to the bench, because this is what Miles Bridges did to Emmanuel Quickley all night. Just bodied him and got open pockets of space. That's really what it was. I said CMB defense, Grady and BI, perfect fast break. For real. Like, I've always said there's certain plays defensively that are like, if you don't do this, that's a guaranteed 2 points. And then there are certain defensive plays that are just breaking up the offense. This is saving you 2 points. CMB saves you 2 points on this play. Ingram gets the ball. Obviously, very good ball handler, very good passer. Here, passes to Grady, continues to run. Knowing that there is an advantage here, Bridges doesn't cut it off. Sexton is way too small, and Ingram gets a wide open layup. I did like the Raptors transition process a lot better today. There was a lot less complete lunacy on the Raptors side. Here, I said this is pure grit, pure energy, motor, hustle, heart, grit, whatever. Toronto got it. Look, man, losses can be humbling. Maybe this team was kind of feeling themselves a little bit. Boozer wasn't bad. He's not Scottie Barnes. Get off my timeline, bro. He's not Scottie Barnes. If you think he is, you don't know what you're looking at. Okay, look at that. CMB just hustling the shit, man. Gets us back out to Grady Dick. Grady Dick. He's going to miss this. Jakob Poeltl. You want to blame Yak and like for them getting you these shots? Man, passes it again. And this time, Grady can't miss. So it's just like, that's just saving you. Like they're just saving you. Like they're buying you extra possessions. The Raptors killed them on the glass tonight. And that's a big team. This is a big physical team. Bridges is a big dude. Like he's a strong dude. Diabate, very, very athletic backup center, right? And again, like you had no business winning the Battle of the Glass tonight. And you do. And look at that. Like that's just good defense. It's good defense by Yak and CMB. So again, they're just saving you points. Your guards are giving up blow-bys. Here, Grady Dick just jumping recklessly. Someone else will clean up the mess. Grady's like a child. You know what I mean? Like a child who just expects, parents will clean it up. Well, yeah, sometimes Grady does that. It can be really annoying. I said Scottie and Jakob took 2 points off the board. Once again, crediting the defense. How do you become an all-star, bro? Scottie hasn't played high-level basketball yet consistently. How about this? Leave Scottie Barnes analysis to the people who actually watch Scottie Barnes. You in the chat with people who actually watch every single game Scottie's played. Ask them. Why don't you use intellectual curiosity and ask them if they think Scottie Barnes has played high-level basketball? If Carlos Boozer comes up in Scottie Barnes discourse again, I'm gonna freaking end this live, man. It's crazy. Y'all just be saying anything. Yeah, DeMarcus Cousins, greatest center. Fuck that, man. You get way too comfortable saying absolute bullshit. Okay, look at this. This is a split. This is the talent of LaMelo Ball, okay? This is just the talent of LaMelo Ball. And here, Grady has no pursuit, just totally out of this play. Now, do you know how hard this is to stop? Like all of this happening in breakneck pace here. And look at Jakob Poeltl. Rim deterrence, man. Look at Scottie Barnes with that other hand. Just gets a hand up and then close that possession with a rebound and rip it away from Mr. Athletic Moussa Diabate. That is not a tough play to stop. When your two defenders get lost like that, that is not tough to recover. The Raptors defense has been amazing. I don't know if I brought this stat up. I posted about it. The Toronto Raptors, since the last All-Star break, have the second-ranked defense in the NBA. Guess who's number one? Guess who's number one? OKC. Okay. So that's kind of the point, man. Like, okay. Emmanuel Quickley. If this was the fourth quarter or overtime, you know damn well he's forcing that up. But right now, he doesn't force it up. Instead, he passes to Scottie Barnes. Scottie Barnes finds Miles Bridges a little bit off foot, and boom. And Jakob Poeltl with that little assistance clearing Kalkbrenner out of the way. And here, hey man, I have seen Emmanuel Quickley not throw this pass 12 to 15 times. Every time you do not throw this pass, or even worse, you throw the pass over your offensive player's head, you are costing that player 2 points. And if you throw it out of bounds, you're costing your team 2 points. Because in this scenario, right here, with the court the way it is, with Kalkbrenner where he is, with the defense where it is, where the offense where it is, there is no chance that a high IQ basketball team should come out with this any less than 2 points. And here, Emmanuel Quickley finally makes this pass to Scottie Barnes, and it's not off target. Wait, is it off target? Nope. Perfect. I was so surprised when I saw this. No disrespect, but like, Emmanuel Quickley is not a good passer, and I don't know who needs to hear that, but he's not. He is not a good passer. I don't give a shit if he turns the ball over 4 times, 5 times. He's not a good passer. His passes are so routinely off target. You'll see examples of that later, right? Here, look at this. Just LaMelo Ball being a lazy off-ball defender and Emmanuel Quickley getting wide open. Wide open. Yak presents himself as a target. Kalkbrenner can't completely abandon him. And I said, yeah, Rook, Colin Murray Boyles, this is why you drafted him, right? Look at this. Defense sleeping, Mamu relocating, Kalkbrenner too late. And yeah, he's huge. He's huge. He's huge, right? He's a really, really, really big dude. But how do I nullify your size? How do I mitigate the impact of your size? Well, one of the ways is I put a stretch big on the court that you can't deal with, and I have my wings crash out and guard you. Here, Emmanuel Quickley. Okay, passes to Brandon Ingram. This is an automatic pass to Ochai Agbaji. Automatic. Automatic. This is worst case. You pump fake, get this defender to commit. Now, the further this play goes, the more automatic a pass this has to be to Ochai. Now, 2 ways to read this. Number 1, Ingram didn't want to throw this pass to Ochai because he does not trust Ochai to make an open layup. Number 2, he didn't see this. I don't know which one is worse. The first one means the Raptors have no faith in Ochai whatsoever. And given how many times people miss him wide open, I don't even necessarily blame him. Given how many times, like, this is crazy. Look, you cannot miss wide open players underneath the basket. The same thing I said about quickly missing Barnes in transition is the same thing here. You are costing your team 2 points. So don't let me find out that you give up all of this and Sion James now recovers all of this to fucking attack 3 defenders 1-on-3. Look, man, y'all want to gas Brandon Ingram up like he's the best player since sliced bread. And I get it. I get it. He scores a lot. But you are going to see over the course of a season, he is not Luka, he is not LeBron, he is not KD. And frankly, anything less than that quality of player is not someone that you just break your entire offense apart for. It's not. You cannot run 36% usage for Brandon Ingram. I promise you, your offense has been awful for the last 3 games, including this one. You are the second worst or third worst offense in terms of offensive rating. And this dude is racking up 36% usage. I think you need to have an honest conversation about this. And please don't tell me, oh, it's all RJ. No, because RJ was here last year and we had a 26th, 27th ranked offense last year too, 28th ranked offense. RJ does not solve offense. Ingram playing a role that he was playing earlier in the season solves offense. Ingram taking 26 shots a game does not solve offense. He is not built for 26 shots a game. This is crazy. Okay. 36 is more than Pascal pandemic usage. It really is. This is Tampa Pascal level. And I feel like a lot of people in Toronto are gassing this up They're gassing it up. They keep comparing him to Kawhi, and he's getting in his head like, oh shit, like I'm about to go on my fucking Kobe arc. You're not. You're not Kobe. You're not good enough to be Kobe. Look, I would love Scottie Barnes to be LeBron James, but if Scottie Barnes handles the ball as much as LeBron James, he's going to average 12 turnovers a game. I know he's not good enough to do that. I know that. Okay. I've never ever put Scottie in those conversations as a prime option number one. Okay. I understand that Scottie can participate in a role, that he can play the Pippen role really well. And maybe if something else happens with his offense later down the line, he develops it. Maybe we can start talking about prime options. You know, maybe we can start talking about Kawhi Leonard, Giannis Antetokounmpo hybrids, right? But right now, nobody on this team is good enough to command 32% usage. Nobody. Okay. So you cannot be doing this as a consistent basis. Like, it's one thing, and Ingram will bail you out of a lot of plays that nobody else on this team is capable of. You see what happened when Scottie Barnes got the ball with 2 seconds to go on the clock and he had to put up an air ball. That's what happens to most players when you give them the ball and you say, here's 3 seconds, go do something with it. Ingram is uniquely talented in that he can generate positive looks in those situations. But those positive looks are still like 45 to 50%. They're not high efficiency layups. So you should never, ever be passing up layups and open threes to get Brandon Ingram mid-range pull-up fadeaways. That's stupid basketball. I don't like it. And somebody needs to have a conversation about this. And maybe what you need right now is to get belt to ass by the New York Knicks as Josh Hart and Mikal Bridges run circles around your team and Brandon Ingram is clamped up. Or maybe what's going to happen is Brandon Ingram's going to go out tonight, really pissed off about tonight. Emmanuel Quickley's going to be pissed off about tonight. Those two are going to take 55 shots tomorrow. They're going to end up with like 50 points, producing 70 points. And then maybe they'll get into their head that this is the way to win. Look, man, there's a winning way and a losing way. And sometimes you're so good defensively that there's about a 50, 60 ways that you can win offensively. That doesn't mean you need to choose the stupidest one every single time, because I think that means you're playing with fire. Okay. The Toronto Raptors could easily win certain games they've won this year force feeding Scottie looks. It doesn't mean it's going to be good for the offense. Okay. There's certain games where you could easily force feed RJ Barrett looks because he has the third best defender on him and it's a favorable matchup. And maybe that's okay. And you might win, but you're not winning optimally. And this is why I sometimes complain after losses and wins, right? Today, I'm complaining about a loss. I'm not complaining because we lost. We played a pretty decent game up until down the stretch. But even in the decent parts of the game, there was a lot left on the table offensively tonight. It just wasn't great process. It just wasn't great process. I said the defense is very encouraging. Don't even mind the miss. They're working. Look at this. Look at Jamal Shed. Man up. Perfect read here. Gets over the screen, makes himself skinny. And here Jacoby gets around this and stays 100% glued to Con Knipple. And it isn't until they get the ball to Ingram's man that we get the blow by. And Ingram kind of reaches in from the back, puts Mamu in a really bad situation here against Sexton, and Sexton scores. So everything but the Ingram rotation was awesome. Everything. Okay. And I'm not gonna sit here and tell you that was great defense by Brandon Ingram, but I'm also not going to tell you that that entire possession is lost on me because the last leg of it didn't work. The first 2 legs of it were very impressive as hell. And Jacoby Walter and Jamal Shed deserve a lot of credit for the defense they played tonight. Now, here I say Brandon Ingram, poetry in motion. Absolutely, man. This is the type of shit I'm talking about. But this is 8 seconds left on the clock. And I have no problem with you taking this shot. One-on-one, they decide to guard you one-on-one with a rookie. You got to take the shot. He's 6'5". You're 6'9". I get it. Take the shot. No problem. Here I said, call a fucking foul, ref. And I meant it. How is this not a foul? Okay, I will show you where the foul occurs. That right there. Right there. You cannot make contact like this with the body of a player who's going up for a layup. That's a foul. That is 100% a foul. Now, thankfully, Scottie actually fought through contact today. Sometimes, you'd be shying through contact. Tonight, I think we found out what happens when Scottie Barnes actually fights through contact. He played really well. Now here, I said, how many fouls here? Okay, let's count. How many fouls? You let me know how many fouls you see here. That's a foul. grabs the arm. That's a foul. Grabs the wrist. You cannot grab someone's wrist. That is 2 fouls. No fouls there. No foul there. That's 2 fouls. Here, Jacoby, by some miracle, actually tips this away. So this is just subtle shit by Jacoby Walter, tipping this away. Bad touch. No foul. I don't know. Okay. I said Brandon Ingram is doing witchcraft and wizardry right now. I really think this might be one of my favorite Brandon Ingram offensive possessions ever. Is this ever? This is amazing. This was smooth, man. Here, gets the defender on his hip, manipulates him, left step, gets him on his back, switch side, gets out of the con dig, and then finishes through contact. How many seconds were left on the clock there? 10. Now, is this a recipe for success? Probably not. But it's still wizardry. I don't know how to, when these shots go in, damn. But I like Brandon Ingram going to the basket. I don't think I've ever, I know this sounds crazy, but like sometimes I feel like if he goes to the basket, I don't think he can miss. And I said, only idiots don't like watching the Raptors play, honestly. And I meant it. Like, look at this play here. First of all, Emmanuel Quickley might be legally insane. Okay. This is a terrible pass. Like, I think you have to ask like real questions about Emmanuel Quickley's basketball IQ. Like, I really think you do. I think you need to have a really loud discussion about how much you trust this guy to make plays with the basketball, because this pass might be one of the most genuinely insane things I've seen a player do. Like, it's truly mind-boggling. Who are you throwing this for? Who is this for? What is this for? Why would you throw this? Like, Jacoby's right there, bro. Like, what the fuck is this? Like, do you not even see do you see the defense? Does anyone think this is a good pass? Anyone at all? I mean, you very lucky as hell. I feel like Scottie is going to break his back trying to get these passes. That's a crazy pass. And here, Scottie makes a great read here, somehow escaping this triple team instead of quadruple team. My bad. He gets 4 defenders. Like, why would you pass to a guy who is running into 4 defenders because he's convinced you're about to take a layup that you're going to miss? And I mean, forget the pass. You're open. Now you pass? Like, what do you... This is so crazy. Dude, this is an open layup. This right here is an open layup. Like, I understand that, like, for some reason, like, you might be thinking one thing, like, you're thinking, like, I'm going to throw it to Scottie and he's going to dunk over. He's not Vince Carter, man. He's not Vince Carter. Like, this is some crazy, like, I can't stop looking at this play. This is insane. Okay. So somehow Scottie gets the ball here, passes out of the quadruple team, and perfect Jakob Poeltl with one of his 9 assists to Jacoby Walter in the corner. Jacoby gets a 3. So all's well that ends well, right? All is well that ends well. No, not so fast. Not so fast. Because decisions like that are truly crazy and they need to be dissected. Okay. I said this was called a block on Jacoby Walter. Now, this is when you knew the refs were about to screw the Raptors over. Like, how is that? He was standing still for 2.5 seconds. LaMelo just bowled him over and they said, charge, and the Raptors challenged it. Okay. I said Colin Murray Boyles' motor is unmatched. Look at where Murray Boyles is relative to everybody else. There's no chance he's getting to the rim for an offensive rebound, right? There's no chance. There's no chance. Never mind. There's a chance. He gets it. And then here, he knocks it off the offensive player, or in this case, the defensive player, and earns the Raptors another possession. Don't look at the box score. I don't give a shit. Colin Murray Boyles busted his ass tonight. Now, here I say This is Scottie Abdul-Jabbar. All right, Tay Luke, tell me, this ain't Carlos Boozer worthy for you? Jesus. The people who don't watch PC, like, I'm still mad about this. Scottie Barnes will never be better offensively than Carlos Boozer. Are you fucking crazy? Okay. It's a pretty good defender. Musa Diabate couldn't do anything about that. And Scottie with the left hand, looking at his left hand, skipping away. Like, there was no chance the Raptors were about to lose this game, right? They were up like nearly 15 points at that point. And it's just nuts. Okay. Here we go. I said the ref was 5 feet away from this play, and they still managed to call it off of Toronto. Watch Grady Dick reach, knocks it off of Con Knippel's leg. The ref is right in front of Quickley, off screen. Crazy. Just insane. Okay. I said Scottie the Dream Barnes. Okay, man. Keep doing it. We tried Musa Diabate on him. Let's try Sion James on him. Sion is very tough. Just too small. 6'5", too small. And Scottie, he goes with the right hand this time. Dude, I'm telling you, man, this guy figures out his post package. He starts figuring out his footwork in the post. I said, hey, Marstock Sports, your King Musa just got baptized. Scottie really had like one of them games, man. Like, if there's nothing else, you're going to feel happy that Scottie had a really good game. But here, battling with Musa Diabate, that's a center right there. And just having the timing to block that shot. That is his 31st block of the season. Shout out to Scottie for that. Okay. I mean, all's well so far. I don't know how the Raptors lost this game. And, you know, hey, shout outs to Manuel Quickley. He makes a shot to put the Raptors up 102-100 with this play right here. Screen action with Brandon Ingram, Sion James, little crossover there, and boom, beats him off the dribble, gets a step, could have been a foul there, honestly. He's probably looking for a foul. And the Raptors are up 2 with 41.6 seconds to go. Shout outs. And I say defense, great, but foul bails out the Hornets. 1 point game after Bridges splits the pair. The defense was great. Truly. Scottie, good defense. Gets Brandon Miller in a lot of trouble here. And here comes Con Knippel. And Musa Diabate just gets this rebound over Ingram and Barnes. And then Jacoby Walter just ends up giving up the foul. The Raptors were in the penalty. So Bridges steps to the line and he splits a pair. But Scottie steps to the line, and as if Jack Armstrong almost wanted the announcer's jinx, he makes his first. And I'm like, man, with all the shit that I've talked about Cade Cunningham missing free throws down the line with the game on the line, oh man, Scottie's going to miss one. He's made 47 of 50 coming into this free throw succession. Okay, 47 of 50. That is 94% from the line over his last 50 attempts. And I said Cade could never, nothing but net. Sweet. Making your free throws after you play defense like this, Scottie Barnes has leveled up mega time as a free throw shooter. Now, you're up 3 with 12.6 seconds to go. Some coaches prefer to foul here. Play the free throw game. Just play the free throw game out. Some coaches elect to play it out. Here, I think I am on the side of foul, especially if you have an edge rebounding. I would probably foul. I certainly know that everyone in the timeout knows that they are absolutely running a play for Con Knippel on this. This is the most obvious play. It's not Con inbounds the basketball, comes around, and he catches you sleeping. No, this is legitimately, we know that Jacoby is going to get screened off and Ingram is going to have to recover onto Con. And here, Ingram is already a step behind. Now here, chase with your arm up. Now here, I don't know if Ingram thought he's going to wait. But obviously, Down 3, you're going to go early. So you can foul here, but you have to wrap him up. You can't allow yourself to foul and then he makes a shot. So you got to foul down. You can't even let the ball come up. But here, fouling in the act of the motion would be crazy too, by the way. That would be unforgivable. But you know what's even more unforgivable than fouling a three-point shooter? Leaving the best three-point shooter on the court wide open. This is a wide open shot. This is not. You're not even trying. And you know what fucking sucks about this? He's talked about how good Con is. So I know it's not one of those Pascal Siakam situations where he doesn't know who the guy is and he just fucked up. No, man, you fucked up here. You let a dude hit an open three. No, I understand. It's hard to foul. I'm not asking you to foul at this position. I'm asking you to put an arm up. Can you put an arm up? You got a 7'3" wingspan. That's a 6'5" player. If nothing else, I expect Con to hit this shot. Okay. Wide open, he's making the shot in his sleep. Okay. He might have made that shot with his eyes closed. So you putting an arm up is not going to stop the shot from going in, but it might reduce the efficiency of that shot from like 75% going in to maybe 55% going in. Like Con got ice water in his veins. There's a reason why I said this guy's a top 75 player. I really like Con Knipple. I really do, man. Someone asked me, I think Ron asked me on the panel the other day, what would you trade for Con Knipple? I said I would trade Grady and 3 first-round picks in a heartbeat. And he's like, oh, shit. Like, I didn't know you liked him like that. I like him like that. Okay. Now, instead of calling this what it is, which is stagnant offense, choking, the Raptors think the Raptors really think they got Michael Jordan, huh? Like, Jesus fucking Christ, man. Like, this is stagnant. You are driving into a triple team here. This is so easy. Too easy. This is a crazy shot. You had 10 seconds and you couldn't set up a play better than this? Scottie. Just drive, bro. Just drive. Trust yourself. Ingram's a perfect decoy in this situation. You got this. At the very least, they're going to have to guard Yak and Scottie going to the rim with one guy. They've already gone small. They've pulled Cockbrenner off to be mobile because they know you're going to go with Ingram. You don't do. This is a terrible play call. And it surprised me at none that I was just like, at this point, I'm like, if he hits this, you got it. You got it. Okay. But here's what you do instead of hitting this. How about just pass it to Scottie Barnes? That's an all-star right there. He's wide open. Okay. Nothing else. If nothing else, Scottie is going to pass this right to Jakob and it's going to be a layup at the basket. You predetermined that you were going to take this shot because you got fucking idiots who are trying to tell this guy that this is a great shot. This is not a great shot. This is not a great shot for Kobe Bryant. This is not a great shot for Kevin Durant. This is not a great shot for anybody. Michael Jordan can get away with this shit because he gets elevation, but also they do something to get him open before he does that. It's a quick hitter. It's not stagnant, load up the defense, draw the best defender, don't get a single screen, and then jump into a triple team. This is dumb basketball. I hated when Pascal Siakam did this shit, and I absolutely hate Brandon Ingram doing it. This is stupid basketball. Look, man, you can't call this bias. I would hate it if Scottie did this. I would hate it if anybody did this. I don't even care if you make it. Honestly, at this point, you have to come up with something better than that. This is not like the last game where you had less time on the clock or whatever. This is, you didn't even have the unpredictability of not running a timeout. Like here you call, I mean, shit, like, okay, here we go. Yeah, you could do this anytime you want. That's Scottie Barnes. That's Moussa Diabate. He does not stand a chance to stop him. So why not do this with the game on the line? Why wait till overtime to do the exact same thing? You could have just closed this game out. I feel like people get into Scottie's head that like, oh, you really got like one of them ones on your team. You don't. It's nice to have a closer. Ingram is better at it than you, but this is not the type of closer that it's like, oh, he's got to have the ball. Okay. No. If you're open and he's triple teamed, you have the better shot. Why does all logic go out? This is AAU bullshit. All logic does not go out the door. At the end of the day, it's still about making a shot. I don't think Scottie Barnes is going to miss a fucking point blank layup with the game on the line. Stupid ass basketball, man. It's just dumb. The Raptors have, like, this is crazy. Okay, don't worry. It gets worse. It gets worse. I said Emmanuel Quickley, no words. Bro, first of all, y'all remember that first pass by Emmanuel Quickley that I had to like freeze it out like 5 times? Watch this pass by Emmanuel Quickley. I need you to watch this pass. Watch the velocity of the pass, okay? The distance, the velocity, the thought process of the pass. Oh my God. I don't even care that he caught this one too. Dude, you whip this pass above his head. Why would I need to jump to get a pass? Like, what do you avoid doing this? Like, you're jumping for no reason. Throw it up at the rim, if nothing else. That's not a shot. That's nothing. That's just crazy. That's a crazy pass. Now here, Scottie is going to somehow gather himself and then put up a post shot. But it's like, this shot was available to you all night. Why devolve to Brandon Ingram isolations when you have this matchup in your back pocket? Scottie is the one who had it going tonight. Why go to the guy who's missing shots left, right, and center and hasn't made a shot in like 3 minutes? Why? Because we got a seniority thing. We got a pecking order thing. Darko Rajakovic capping for the fucking, for the cameras. Like, oh, we all know what Brandon Ingram is here. Yes, he is a very talented offensive player and a very good one. A very good one. He is not here to be a superstar, though. Okay? Like, this is some crazy ass basketball. Now, here, nothing could have prepared you for this. But I promise you, the second he crossed half court, I was like, this is a turnover right here. This is a turnover right here. And on fucking target with one of the craziest turnovers, you're still in the game here. It's a 2-possession game with 35 seconds. You still got a chance here. To toss it away like this, honestly, man, if I'm Emmanuel Quickley, I'm going into that locker room and I'm apologizing. I'm just saying, my bad, y'all. I fucked up. I forgot who I was. Okay, now we will take callers. If you got something to say, let me know. We got Coach Mo calling in. Coach Mo, what's up?
It's been a long time coming, man. This loss has been a long time coming.
Yeah.
I didn't call against that Indiana win, but boy, I was begging for a loss because that basketball was ugly. And you said it best. Michael Jordan ain't on this team. But for about a week, people thought we had Michael Jordan.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you, if we play like this, we're going to get humbled in the in-season tournament. Humbled. So, and you also mentioned it. I'm watching that contest. I lost my mind on that Ingram contest, but we won't beat that. We won't beat a dead horse.
Right.
When I saw their coach bench LaMelo and I'm watching Emmanuel Quickley stink up the joint and being hunted on defense, and Darko's just not subbing him out for CMB because clearly we're struggling on offense. The least we can do is not struggle on defense too.
Right.
This loss is as much on Darko because, again, you've been a Quickley apologist to a degree. I don't know if that's the correct term to say it, but he's not a smart player. He has extreme limitations. And when he's in a decision-making position, our ceiling is very limited. Like, very limited. And he struggles to make plays when the game is at a normal pace. I swear to God, Rob, when Barnes gave him the ball on that rebound late and he started running up the court, I said, uh-oh. Uh-oh. If you can barely do addition, how the hell are you going to do multiplication?
Fair point. Yeah.
Right? So We just needed this loss, and I hope we lose tomorrow. I swear to God. Because there needs to be a wake-up call, and I agreed with you. They're like, here we go. Here comes this stupid shit. We're just going to give it to Brandon Ingram. The entire arena knows where the ball is going.
Hey, man, everyone knew Khan was going to take that three, apparently, except for Brandon Ingram. Right? Did you not know he was going to hit that? Like the second he took it, I'm like, he's making that shot.
I was shocked his hands were down. I was shocked. I couldn't believe it.
Facts.
I couldn't believe it. But, I mean, this went to overtime. We basically sacrificed tomorrow's game, essentially. I don't know if Jakob's going to play, if he's allowed to play. I was wondering, are they going to sit him for the back-to-back again for the better team? But, I mean, we basically sacrificed tomorrow's game. So,
in a very real way, yes, we did. Yeah. And we went after the one that was in front of us. We were winning by a substantial material amount, and then just decided
team ball.
Yeah.
And we went away from that. Yeah. And I remember early in the season, it was like, this is an egalitarian offense.
Not anymore.
And now even the broadcasters are like, yeah, we have that guy. It's like, my goodness, what a 180, huh?
This team, I think this entire fan base is brainwashed by brain dead media cartel. Okay. Believe me, I am looking at our media. I am taking notes at the number of people who have put this guy into Kawhi Leonard conversations. Now, I released a list of my favorite players for 2025, 2026. Can you guess who number one was?
Scottie B.
Can you guess where Brandon Ingram was on that list?
Which season? Which season?
This season.
Okay. Probably not in the top 10.
He was 6th. So don't anyone ever tell me that I'm hating on Brandon Ingram. I love Brandon Ingram. I wish that this media space and this fan base that can get very diluted very quickly will not do to him what they did to Rudy Gay.
And Siakam, to a degree.
And Pascal Siakam. And DeMar
DeRozan. Yep.
And Chris Bosh. You getting a pattern here?
Mm-hmm.
This team and this fan base and this city fall so in love with not true alphas, right? Now, I'll concede Scottie Barnes is not like a number one option in the NBA right now. I know that. I'm not stupid. I still believe that he will get there someday. But if he's this player at 28 and he's still going through the lulls and still having the sloppy handle stuff, I'll back off of it. I'm not stupid. I know that, right? But right now, Norman Powell is having a better season by large measure than Brandon Ingram. Way better. Just because you don't watch Norman Powell doesn't mean he's not doing it. He is doing it. But nobody is saying Norman Powell is a superstar because we understand that there's levels to this shit. We understand that Donovan Mitchell and Norman Powell can both have 25 points, but there's levels to this shit. Now, Brandon Ingram has a chance here to settle into a perfect role for him, which is probably a role he's never quite had, which is really functional. Functionally, it's basically Chris Middleton. That's the role. It's Chris Middleton. That role right there. That go-to shot taker down the stretch. But Chris Middleton does not have 36% usage when Giannis is on the court. So it's just a tough thing where I'm watching this guy and I'm just like, dude, do we learn from our mistakes? We did this shit with Rudy Gay. I promise you, I was there. Brian Colangelo met Rudy Gay at the airport and said, yo, like, we're correcting a mistake. Should have taken you in 2006. He's like, y'all took too long to make this happen. I'm home. I'm here to save the franchise. And then what happened?
Yep.
Bro, half a year later, the guy was banning box scores from the locker room. It's the same thing. I think BI is way better than Rudy Gay. Just put that out there. I think BI is way better than Rudy. But it's the same idea. It's like just because a guy is a shot maker in tough situations and can make tough shots, it does not mean that they are a franchise cornerstone or a superstar, because superstars find space. Like the only gap here is Ingram makes tough shots. right? Ingram makes the toughest shots probably of any player I've seen in a Raptors jersey. Like he makes tough shots the way Kawhi makes tough shots. But the difference in their effectiveness over like a period of time is like 8%, 9%, 10%. It's mega big. And then don't get me started on defense. So it is very DeMar DeRozan-esque. And that's sad because I thought with a coach like Darko, there's no way that someone could emerge into that Rudy Gay, DeMar DeRozan, Helio, ISO ball, crap. But that's what we're going to. That's what we're going to down the stretch, right?
And people want to say it's because RJ's in here. RJ got hurt in the Cavs game.
RJ does the same shit.
Yeah, but we started trending in that direction while RJ was still playing. It was getting worse over time. And I agree, Scottie isn't a one first option, not yet, if he'll ever get there. But what I do know is Brandon Ingram isn't such a better option that he should be taking 10 more shots. Like the gap in shot attempts is ridiculous. The gap in efficiency doesn't justify it. The rate at which they scored does not justify those field goal attempt gaps. Like
right.
Their ability to play make certainly doesn't justify the shot attempt gaps. Like it's lunacy.
Yeah. Well, I mean, in fairness, if they're gonna play Barnes single coverage with Musa Diabate, or if they're gonna allow Sion James one-on-one against Barnes, but with Ingram, they're gonna send a double team. I believe that is validation for Ingram being the more talented offensive player, which I agree with. I think he is. I think he's a more talented scorer. He's not a better passer. He's a better scorer. Okay. And I think he's a multifaceted scorer and he's a decent passer. So there's a lot of arguments that Ingram should be the shot leader on this team. He should be. Like, I don't want
by 10,
22
not by 12.
Yeah, like exactly. So if we get 20 shots for Ingram, I'm cool with that. As long as Barnes has 15, 16, we're good. If we maintain that gap, we're cool. But if we start getting into Kobe Bryant, Lamar Odom territory of differential, where like one guy's taking 34 shots and the other guy's taking 12, now we might have a problem because the gap is not that large between these two players, right? So it's just like someone saying, stop blaming Ingram, chat. Yo, man, put your arm up. Put your arm up. That's what I'm saying. Like, put your arm up. And honestly, it's not even on Ingram. Just so everyone knows, this is on the fan base, this is on the media, and this is on the coaching staff. Because Brandon Ingram wants to win. I fully believe that with my heart of hearts. I believe BI came here to win basketball games. And all you would need to do is tell Brandon Ingram, bro, you have to pass in this situation. I understand you have drawn these three defenders. You've done your job. Scottie's wide open here, or Yak is wide open. You need to make this pass. We are not going to be the 96 Chicago Bulls because you are not Michael Jordan and Scottie is not Michael Jordan, and nobody here is that level of talent. If you can get that message through to him without hurting his feelings or whatever, then we're cool. If you can get the same message through to RJ Barrett, that'd be great too. 2 for 1. But if you decide to walk into the locker room and say, we're going to live and die with that shot, you can guarantee you're going to get cooked in the playoffs. Destroyed.
And I remember that Pacers game thinking, because there was a third quarter in that Pacers game where Brandon Ingram caught fire, right? He caught fire. He made like 3-4 baskets in a row. I understand feeding the hot hand. Our best scorer is cooking, but you're not cooking right now. So why are we spamming something that isn't even working in this game? That part confused me. In the fourth quarter of the Indiana game, I remember we kept going to him like possession after possession. There was a point where Ingram was visibly breathing heavy. He was tired because going 1-on-2 all the time is very tiring. And I'm thinking, this guy has to play defense too, right? And Emmanuel Quickley, the genius he is like, let's keep going to him. God, that guy is like, he just doesn't see anything. I'm watching the game and I'm like, this guy's breathing heavy. He needs a break in this possession. No, let's keep spamming this. Let's keep spamming until his arms fall off.
Right. Exactly. And again, like we were just talking on the panel the other day, we were talking about, is Donovan Mitchell like a playoff number 1, right? Like, is he on the same tier? Like if you put him, I'm actually curious, if you put Donovan Mitchell as good as he's been in the playoffs we saw him what he did against Indiana last year. If you put him in OKC in place of Shea, you think they win? You think they win a championship? Also, ironically, Pascal Siakam just hit a game winner against the Bulls.
I don't think they win because I don't think he's a better first option. I don't think he's a tougher first option. But again, then there's a defensive gap too. So no.
The defensive gap is mega. So I think the defensive gap is what swings me, but I think Mitchell's a better pull-up jump shooter.
Yeah,
I think Mitchell's by a hair, he's a better three-point shooter too. That was a big thing that fell apart for Shea during the playoffs. And with how poorly Shea played in the playoffs last year relative to his own insane expectations, I think I could make a case they were dead even in the playoffs last year.
Mhm.
So for me, it's like if you give him Chet instead of Evan Mobley, I feel like Chet is so much better offensively than Evan Mobley. I feel like that would open up a lot more space for him. Also, Donovan Mitchell has had positive defensive seasons before. He's also had overtly negative defensive seasons. I feel like being flanked by Case and Wallace and Lou Dort and Alex Caruso is a very different equation than being flanked by Darius Garland and Max Strus.
Yeah.
So I would be curious to see it out. I wouldn't put it. I would still pick OKC to win a championship with Donovan Mitchell. Point being, Donovan Mitchell is my cutoff for a playoff number one in this league. He is the worst version of that type of player.
And he's a better playoff option than Ingram.
Of course.
Yeah,
of course
he
is.
I agree.
So is Tatum. So is Devin Booker. So is Anthony Edwards. Like if we counting just guys that you could put the ball in their hands and you trust them to make a shot, so is Kevin Durant. You could have an argument about Cade Cunningham. You really could. I wouldn't, but like me personally, like I'll take Brandon Ingram taking a pull-up jump shot over Cade, but whatever. Some people could. Jalen Brunson is up there. We're gonna see him tomorrow. He is a notch below Devin Booker and a notch above Pascal Siakam. That's where I'm at with Brandon Ingram as a playoff number one, which is to say he's not a playoff number one.
He's not a true playoff number one. I mean, he will be by default, but yes.
Right. He's an isolation scorer and he's a scoring specialist. To me, Brandon Ingram is like Jamal Mashburn. If you remember Jamal Mashburn, that's a scoring specialist. Glenn Big Dog Robinson, that's a scoring specialist. Allen Houston, that is a scoring specialist. These are some of my favorite players of all time. Brandon Ingram is that dude. But when people say he is Kevin Durant, it's just like, dude, no, he's not. So would I put the ball in Monster Masher's hands with the game on the line? Hell yeah, I would. Against a triple team? No, I wouldn't. So that's the gap.
And the thing that I didn't like was I don't mind getting him the ball, but the double team came quick. Just throw it back. Right. Just throw it. Like, why did you have to go into the? He's getting double teamed, and then he drove to the base. He drove to the corner where Con Knipple was. So it's like, let me shoot this shot over three people. It's like when he threw that up, I'm like, yeah, that's a brick. Like maybe the Indiana game it goes in because he was feeling good. But my issue here is even guys like the best players in the league, the top 5 guys,
right?
They have off nights where they're not shooting well. Even those guys don't spam to the degree we're doing right now. Like this is spamming.
It is, for sure.
But we'll see, man. We'll see if we change it up. And I think it's on Darko. I think it's on Darko to call timeouts, to let people know what's going on. It doesn't help that Emmanuel Quickley is a starting point guard, so he's not going to really fix this situation, right?
Right.
It got to a point where I'm like, man, Shed is infested with this get the ball to Ingram bug, right? Normally, like it was like a disease. Scottie caught it. It's like it just caught everybody, but we'll see what happens.
Yeah. And I honestly think it is this fan base. I think it's the fan base. I think it's the media. It's everybody. And it's like you kind of buy into your own hype, right? Like, and again, I think a lot of players can do this. I remember there was a game early. I think it was the first game of the season, right? Brandon Ingram did not play that well in the first game, if I recall correctly. And I remember after the game, it was like, "Do you know that the Raptors have never started out with a blowout win against on the road or something like that?" And he said, "I guess BI here." And I was just like, like, I don't know. I don't know if that's exactly what happened there, Mr. Brandon Ingram, but cool, you know? And I think that's kind of where I'm at with this. Is like, is this going to be that type of thing where one person ends up buying their own hype because the media and the fans are just gassing it and saying it like, oh, you got Donovan Mitchell, we've got Brandon Ingram. And it's just like, no, 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 no. Make very clear Scottie Barnes is still your best player. This guy is an isolation scorer. It's not this. This is like saying Gary Trent's a better player than Pascal Siakam because he can hit tough pull ups better. It's really just not right. And there's a law of diminishing returns with Brandon Ingram. I love the fact that he can draw a double team. I do. I love that he is basically unstoppable one on one. He is unstoppable one on one. I want to be clear about that. He is unstoppable one on one. Everyone else on this team can fuck up one on one. Quickley can fuck up one on one. Jacoby can fuck up one on none. Ochai could probably not score on a telephone booth right now. Okay. Brandon Ingram cannot be stopped one on one. But the minute you draw that second defender, you have done your job. When you draw a third defender and you still take the shot, bro, you better be trapped, right? And the Raptors need to do a better job of putting some spacing on the court to free him up because they ran double staggers for him and they just were not clean. They were not clean. He was not getting clean separation. And you know, credit to the Hornets, they played a good game, but like, man, this was a win that we let go, and it pisses me off for real.
What the sad thing about letting this one go is like you could have at least walked away from this back-to-back 1-1, and now you're realistically leaving 0-2. Yeah, you dug yourself a hole there, and now for the foreseeable future, the number one seed's basically out of reach for now. Because
for now, yeah, because the Pistons are handling the Miami Heat. I don't think like the Pistons lost 2 straight. Okay, they lost 2 straight. I'm like, they're not losing 3 straight. They're not going to lose 3 straight. Like, so, yeah.
And I don't like how the way they talk about Brandon Ingram, and then they're like, okay, and then it's the fans, it's the media, it's like this idea that Brandon Ingram is, you know, Michael Jordan reincarnated, and Scottie Barnes is our do-it-all star. And it's like, bro, the gap between them in scoring isn't as big as you think it is. It's really not. It's really not. This isn't a, you know, I don't know, man. It's just it's crazy, but
yeah, it's tough. Anyways, man, any final thoughts?
I'm excited for the in-season tournament. We're hosting the Knicks, and yeah,
that should be interesting.
And Darko can learn from the Hornets coach. You can if they can sit LaMelo Ball, we can sit Emmanuel Quickley.
That is a fact. All right, man. Take care. Have a good night. Okay, Marwan, what's up, man?
Hey, how's it going, Rob?
How's it going?
I'm good. I just want to apologize for the call-in mishap at the beginning. I thought I was lagging. I didn't know.
No worries.
I didn't hear you either. But yeah, I just wanted to say honestly, like I know it's a bit bleak in here right now, and fair enough. I think the game definitely did not go our way, and it was very disappointing to see the lack of process. You know, sort of all of it kind of collapsed near the end. But I will say that honestly, I'm glad this happened personally, and like I get that people are very disappointed right now, and I'm expecting a massive overreaction. And judging by the comment section so far, I think there definitely is a massive overreaction. But at the same time, as much as we've been learning from all this winning, we've learned learning habits. We've learned the winning way. I think we're gonna learn so much from this loss, in my opinion. The reason being, I understand you've won 9 in a row. Honestly, 5, 6 of those games, I have not been impressed at all with the offensive process, with the fact that we're now reverting away from our ways, the way that the things that sort of used to make us successful, we're sort of shying away from now. You got away with it because you played some pretty lackluster teams. But at this point in time, if you want this team to grow, you need a loss like this because they need to now sit and look in the mirror and realize, okay, what we were used to be doing and what used to work for us, we're not doing anymore. It finally came to bite us in the ass today. And we need to go back and revert to our ways because right now, this heliocentric offense that we're running is ridiculous. It's terrible to watch. It's not what this team is built upon. And you're not going to, and to bleed off of your conversation with Coach Mo, like you're not gonna like ruin this entire offense for a player like Landry Ingram. You're not gonna do it. It's just not worth it. It's not winning basketball. So at this point, this is a game that's gonna be super important for this team as a turnaround because and I expect the offense to look a lot more smooth tomorrow. I would hope if Darko does his job and the film session goes well, I expect the team to come back looking much better tomorrow. Whether that means a win or a loss, I'm not entirely sure. But I think that this is a game that needed to happen, and I'm glad it happened. Honestly, I'm happy it happened.
Yeah. I mean, I can't say I'm happy it happened, but I get why it was happening. And, watching it happen in real time, you could kind of just see it slipping away from them. And what I hope, okay, and maybe in 2 weeks, with the benefit of hindsight, I'll be like, I'm happy it happened because a loss can actually teach you, as you said, as much as a win, right?
Absolutely.
If not more. I think you can learn a ton from losses. I think sometimes when teams start winning too much, uh, not to say 9 in a row is too much, but you start to like, see yourself in the standings. Everyone's saying like you can walk on water. You start tuning your coach out. So when coach says like move the ball, guys, move the ball, they're like, shut up, like did you see the shot that we hit? Now you get to see the shot you didn't hit. One of the
Hmm.
things that I love about Darko is he takes his time to allow people to make their own mistakes. It's a pretty fucking frustrating thing with him sometimes. But
Especially with
when
Ochai right now. But yeah.
well, mm, no, that's just more patience. Ochai, like the ups and downs, like it's not worth it. Like he's not going to turn your franchise around.
Hmm.
Ingram buying in was always going to be an uphill battle, right? It was
Hmm.
always going to be because he's played one way his whole life. Like, let's just be real. Like I've watched him since Duke. He's played that way. He likes the ball in his hands. He watches Jordan, Kobe. This is his style. Okay.
Hmm.
No one was able to communicate to Michael Beasley why you don't want to play this way. The Raptors have won Ingram's heart. Okay. And Darko has done this not by chastising him, not by reprimanding him, not by yelling at him, not by, freaking out every time he takes a stupid shot, but rather just by allowing it to happen and encouraging him to learn from it and move on, move on, move on. One thing that I talked to with somebody when Darko got hired was he said, someone that he coached in Serbia said he would allow a player to make the same mistake 40 to 50 times, say nothing about it other than good job, good job, good job, until the player had a positive rapport with him. And then he would start asking him questions about why he did certain things. Now,
Hmm.
we've heard a different story from Kendrick Perkins where he said, oh, he he walked into the huddle and he ripped, he walked into film session and he ripped Russell Westbrook. And I was just like, yes, but he took like a year and a half to develop a relationship with Russell Westbrook before he did that.
Hmm.
Right. So this is important. Sometimes we expect a coach to just chew out a random player, but I've always said if a coach and a player don't trust each other, that chances for championships are gone completely.
Hmm.
So I have to believe that he is watching Ingram make these mistakes. He clearly playing not Darko ball because Darko preaches point five basketball. Ingram is not Michael Jordan. So as you've said, this is not a player that you're going to break your whole fucking offense over.
Hmm.
However, if Ingram can learn to play this way, right, he will be trained to play
Hmm.
the best basketball he's ever played, and he can be unlocked.
And he was doing that. That's
He
the thing
was.
as well.
He
Like
was.
it's not like we haven't seen it yet at his time as a Raptor. Like he's been doing that. I just think that
Correct.
again, and I think the strength of schedule plays a bit of a part of it. Like what you mentioned it earlier, like the fact that we're able to resort to these things in games where we might like look down at our competition, people
Mhm.
start doing weird things on offense. I've realized that this is something that really does happen much more frequently in the games that we play like less stiff competition. Like particularly the Pacers game, the Charlotte game, the Nets game. These are the games where you really see that heliocentric offense start to take place. But we don't really we at least up to now, we haven't seen that in the Cavs games, for example, where maybe the competition's a bit more stiff, or any other game where we feel like we're looking up to our competition a bit. And so I hope that that's what it is. And again, we've
Mhm.
gotten away with it because you have the talent. But again, at the same time, a team like Charlotte can really figure you out today.
Agreed. Anyways,
And
man, any final thoughts?
Yeah, honestly, like I just want to say I really wish CMB got more minutes today. Like
Yeah.
he could have stopped, in my opinion, he could have stopped Miles Bridges. So it's a rotation thing, but honestly, not to worry too much. I think the takeaways from this game from the loss would have been better than the takeaways from the win. So
If you bench Quickly for CMB in overtime, do you think we win this game?
absolutely, you would.
I agree. All right, take care, man.
Peace.
See ya. Thanks so much for calling in. We got Jan Habitson. What's up, man?
Oh my god, that game was so fucking frustrating to watch. Holy fuck. Oh my god. You know what? It was actually smart that you didn't take my call right away because I was just gonna come up here and flame everyone. Not
Yep.
everyone, but like,
Do you feel less like
BI,
doing that now?
IQ, Darko, huh?
Do you feel less like doing that now?
Yes, but I still want to kind of flame Brandon Ingram.
Okay.
Just that last play. Oh my god, I just don't understand how you just leave Nipple, who's like one of the best shooters in the NBA, and it made no sense. Like if you like I don't understand how you don't close out and let him drive into the paint, or at least foul him, or do something, or just like the fact that you didn't even like bother to contest. I think that like bothers, like it really rubs me the wrong way. But um here's the thing. Honestly, the IQ situation, I don't understand. Like I understand he's our point guard. I understand he's gonna have the ball in the hand. He's gonna have the ball in his hands most of the time. But why can't he share the ball with Scottie? Why can't Scottie have some, you know what I'm saying? Like, why can he handle ball? Why can he get guys in position? Like, I don't, it's like, you're right. Ike doesn't know what the fuck he's doing at times. I'm sorry, he doesn't. And for him to be our lead guard, it's scary. It really is. Because he made so many plays today where it's like, what the fuck are you doing? And I just feel like it's just so frustrating because I feel like Scotty, like he was our point guard at one point, and since we traded for IQ, that responsibility has been stripped away from him. If you
Hmm.
think that's the right choice, that's
Right.
debatable. But for him to have no, like, we don't run pick and rolls for him. He doesn't get guys in position. Like literally he doesn't get to run the offense at all at times, right?
Right.
Especially when it's tight, when the game is tight, when it's late in the fourth quarter, at all. Which is like it rubs me the wrong way. Just like it pisses me off. Like the last caller was saying, like if you replace CMB with Emmanuel quickly, do the Raptors win? They definitely do. Not only because CMB effort and his hustle and his defensive IQ, but Scottie Barnes would be the one who would be handling the ball, bring the ball up, getting guys like, you know what I mean. So it's like, oh my god, that game was so frustrating. Holy, like I understand. Like, listen, we're not gonna win all the time, but a team like
Yeah.
that, and we didn't even play our good basketball. And I understand you can learn from losses, but we still could have won this game and learned a lot about this team, right?
Sure.
So it's just, oh my god, it's super frustrating. Darko again, like I don't worry about him because I know he's a guy who he holds his players accountable and he's gonna talk, he's gonna watch, he's gonna show the film on BI. And listen, I think BI has been good,
He has.
but
Yeah.
he's getting a little bit overrated. A little bit. People are comparing him to Kawhi. I tell my homies and my friends all the time, he's closer than DeMar DeRozan than he is Kawhi. Like
Way closer.
way closer. Like the fact that people are just like putting him at this tier is like it's ridiculous. And hopefully this game showed them like there's levels to this. And man, like at times, like here's the thing with Bi. He is so comfortable making the right play, trusting his teammates, playing off the ball. But I've noticed this too. Even the games where we won, when the games gets tight and it's late in the fourth quarter, he wants to take all the shots. Like he goes in his full Kobe bag and just like chucks up. Like he really forces it. Like you brought up the point at Player's Choice where you brought up, hey, the Cleveland game where he had 37 points. I agree with you. Like people were overhyping that performance. I thought he forced it a little bit too much. You know what I
He
mean?
did.
So it's like I just feel like he needs to understand, like, yo, like there's really good players on this team. And for God's sake, Scottie Barnes is like, let that man get some, like, trust him in the fourth quarter. Like, if he doesn't have it going, that's one thing. The fact that he was our best player and our best offensive player by far tonight, and you didn't even trust to give him a position, like a play, run a play for him to get us, like, you know what I'm saying, get him going, get us a late basket where he was getting the paint, he was getting his touch look good tonight. No one, he was getting downhill. Like I just don't understand. And Scottie, even though he played great tonight, he definitely did. There's times where I thought Scottie could have just attacked the matchups. I felt like at times he just like right away passes to Bi when I feel like probably he should have just went downhill. Like that fake, he could have done a fake dribble handoff to Bi. Remember, like the last position. Remember when Bi shot the ball over two people? I think that was like
Yep.
the one he missed to send in overtime. Yeah, like that play right there. Scottie had the ball. He could have done a fake handoff and just drove to the basket. Like at least try. If you get caught up, fine. Do something else. Like it's just I would have liked to see Scottie, what I'm saying, get the ball there and do something. I don't blame Scottie. I understand. He's like, I don't know if he's being told this, but all year it's, hey, when the game gets close, give it a Bi. He's hierarchy. He's number one. You got to give him the ball. He's your closer. Give him the ball. And it was super frustrating, which I really hope this game shows that, hey, listen, Brandon Ingram is a really good player, but he doesn't need to shoot over two people. We can't just keep feeding him the ball in close games because, first of all, teams are going to know that. They're going to scheme for that, and that's going to be so easy to scheme. When when the game's close, you're just going to give it to one player. You know what I mean? Like, it's just easy to scheme against us. I know I'm talking too much, but, like, I'm just super cheese right now. Like, you know?
Yeah, it is frustrating. Anyways, man, that's is dope. Like a lot of people giving you W's in the chat. I feel like one loss is one loss. OKC gonna lose 6-7 games. The 96 Bulls lost to the expansion Raptors. Okay,
Mhm.
it shit happens, right? You
It
have a
happens,
night.
yeah.
Unfortunately, tonight was not one of those nights where the
Yeah.
Raptors just didn't bring it. The
Yeah,
Raptors brought
it
it.
wasn't. Yeah.
They lost it. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, man. Thanks. Appreciate you.
All right, later, man.
Peace. Okay, final caller. AG, what's up, man?
Rob, I'm gonna crash out, man. I need to vent.
Uh-oh.
Like this is just it's extremely frustrating. I agree with a lot of the things the last guy said and the guy before that. Somebody needs to pull IQ aside and have like a closed door meeting with him. The management, the organization, even the ownership, probably even a couple of hot-headed fans. And like, I don't know, like there needs to be an investigation on this kid. He's like a basketball terrorist. I don't know. This is ridiculous. I mean, he completely ruined our game down the stretch. He was terrible. Just decision making, his reads, his just all around. I seen some plays. You even broke it down in the film study. What the hell is this guy doing? Like some of the passes defy logic. Like I don't know what this guy was doing before the game. Like, is he on drugs? Okay, I shouldn't say that. But like, it's just the worst crap I've ever seen. I'm so sick and tired of this team going through him as if he's a freaking point guard. You are so clearly not a point guard. Bro, do your job and run off screens and be a guy that takes the... Yeah, I'm so pissed. Like, okay, you know what? Guys in the chat, even you said it at the end of the last call. You're like, it's one game, great teams lose. I'm sorry, but this was an unacceptable loss. Why? Like we were up by 8 with less than 5 minutes left. We had the game wrapped up. Okay. Like these guys had nothing, like what do you call Charlotte? And we literally just gave it to them. And we had to battle horrible refs in the first half and early in the third quarter, just calling phantom calls, non-calls on us, just ridiculousness. And we had all that adversity. We should have been up like 30 points at one point. Like seriously, these guys are dog water. But it is what it is. At the end of the day, IQ is one of the most frustrating players that I have ever watched in all my years of basketball. And for the life of me, I don't know why we keep force feeding Bi the ball. But the guy shot like 10 for 27 or whatever the hell. And you got Scottie Barnes who had like 16 shots and made like 12 of them. And we're not giving him the ball down the stretch when nobody on that team can guard him. Like it makes no sense to me. It makes no sense to me, right? And that's what I was saying earlier. I was saying he wasn't assertive enough. It's like, bro, stop giving the ball to IQ and Bi. Are you trying to sell this game? Like, what are we doing here? Like, stop. Like, stop giving them the ball. Just go and score or do something. Just get the ball out of their hands and like stop relying on these guys. Tonight they're scrubs. Stop giving them the ball. Like it's just not going to work. So at the end of the day, man, it's just extremely frustrating to see that. I did not like. We shouldn't have lost this game at all. Even though I told you last post game, I said, I think they're going to struggle against Charlotte, and they're going to play a lot better.
I agree with you. I
Yeah,
agree
and
with
I'm
you.
like, it's just it's so ugly. The basketball, we've been playing horrible basketball for the last 3, 4, 5 games, arguably. Okay, we gotten by with through the skin of our teeth with clutch plays, but like
Right.
the way we're playing is really bad, and we need to reverse this immediately because this is like, yeah, I'm crashing out, dude. I can't do it.
Yeah. I mean, it's bad process, and I think for anybody who thinks that I'm upset because we lost the game, you really don't know why I'm upset. I was upset when we won against Brooklyn. I always bring up that game because I think we fucked around a lot in that game, right? There's so many games this year where we've won basketball games, but our rotations suck. We've played sloppy basketball. Through 3 quarters of this game, I was ridiculously proud of this team. Ridiculously proud of this team. You know, they were battling hard. There were a few things you need to clean up. Okay, a couple of really tough Brandon Ingram shots early, and then I was watching the broadcast, and at the half, they're just like, "Our impactful game, the player of the half, Brandon Ingram," and I was like, "Why? 14 points, 2 rebounds, 2 assists is more valuable than 13 points, 5 rebounds, 4 assists, or whatever the fuck Scottie had." The Scottie was having a better game, but they're like, "Our Subway substantial player of the half, Brandon Ingram," and I was like, "I don't get it. I really don't. How is Scottie so thoroughly outplaying the dude, and he's also like killing it defensively? He's doing a great job on the back line. He's doing a great job, helping on the rotation. So like Scottie did everything for this team tonight, and there's some segment of the fan base that's gonna be like, "See, the Raptors always lose when Scottie scores 30." You know what I mean? It's like, damn, bro. Like
Yeah,
I can't be wasting games like this from Scottie. We might get like 15 scoring games like this from him in a year, right?
exactly.
But
I mean, he could have easily had like 40 plus points tonight. Easily. I mean, they had no answers.
for real, I don't care about the wins and losses. I have said it many times, and I've said this in wins and losses that I don't care about wins and losses. In the end, they will all sort themselves out. When you play winning basketball, you'll be a winning basketball team. And when you play losing basketball, eventually you'll probably be a losing basketball team, right? Winning basketball just means you're giving yourself a good chance. Like if I close out, con canipple, hand up, I get past the screen, I get over the screen, I fight through the screen, and I put an arm up, and he's falling out of bounds, and he hits the shot, bro, that's tough luck. That's
Yep.
tough luck. Fuck, you did everything possible. But if he takes the shot and my arm's not even up, that's just bad basketball, right? If RJ Barrett is in that game against Philly, where we were, granted, we were on the second night of a back to back, people had a right to be tired. When RJ Barrett allows VJ Edgecombe to just run right past him as Emmanuel Quickley and Scottie Barnes scream at him, "Get your man, get your man." And then he allows him to just get a layup, and we're trying to fight back and we're down 8. That's just tough. If you remember, there was that play, I think it was against Dallas early in the season, where Emmanuel Quickley just threw the ball like over Brandon Ingram's head or something. Do you remember that one?
Oh,
And
yeah.
he just
Oh,
kinda
yeah.
like, dude, he has 3 or 4 plays like that every single game.
Every single game.
And it's just like by some divine miracle, someone tips it out or someone, reaches to the heavens to grab it. But like, he's really frustrating. Like, because he's played really well. And I've tried to be very, very fair with Emmanuel Quickly. Like, I'm trying to do my best to just, okay, he's hitting his shots. But man, every time he deviates from that, hitting his shots and taking good shots and just goes right into his inclination, like his natural inclination is to do dumb shit, is to play stupid basketball. I don't know if he learned it from playing in New York with Jalen Brunson and just kind of, fancying himself that way. But we've got like 3 players whose baseline is dumb basketball. Like really, baseline is low IQ basketball. Jamal Shed, his baseline is high IQ basketball. Jakob Pertl, baseline, high IQ basketball. Scottie Barnes, baseline, high IQ basketball. CMB, baseline, high IQ basketball. Jamison Battle, Grady Dick. Like literally, Grady Dick is almost being untrained from good basketball to bad basketball right now because he does some dumbass shit that I've never seen from him in college either. Like Bill Self would have broken a clipboard over Grady Dick's head if he saw some of the plays that he's made over the last couple of years. For
Yeah.
real.
Yeah. I agree.
So what is the point? Like the Raptors are benefiting tremendously from the coaching of Kelvin Sampson and Leonard Hamilton and everybody who has coached their high IQ basketball players right now, and Greg Popovich, who coached Jakob Pertl. every player wants to be the man, like to some extent. I think every player who's ever played basketball. I grew up, in the driveway, dreaming of hitting, fadeaway jumpers with the game online. Everyone did, but that style of basketball is not what we are doing. And it's just like every time we go outside of it, and people are just like, "Oh, you're just hating." I'm not hating. I know this doesn't work.
Can I ask you a question, Rob?
Yeah, what's up?
Why? Okay, so and I need to I'm going to pick up from where you just left off. We're almost a quarter through the season. Almost. Not really, though, but whatever.
Right.
Why is it that, for me, it seems as though the roles have not been clearly defined on this team? It still feels like people are still waiting to figure out what their role is. Like, there is no possible, if the roles were clearly defined, there would be no way that IQ would have carte blanche to do whatever the hell he wants to do, whatever the hell that is. It's definitely not point guard play. It's not floor general stuff. I don't know what he's doing out there. Honestly, quite frankly, I don't know what his role is. What is this guy doing? What is his job? Why is that? Who is that on?
I think that's a little bit on everybody. If I'm being honest, I think that's partially on Darko. I think that's partially on Darko, but also that's on Bobby Webster. You know who you're signing. You understand their personalities. You've done the research. I mean, I knew Emmanuel Quickley was like this for sure. I know RJ Barrett's like this. I know Ingram's like this. You need to have strong personalities who can be like, okay, like this is not going to happen. Now, Scottie is weak when it comes to making sure that everyone knows this is not how we play basketball. He's getting better at it, but time and time again, I watch this guy just watch people hijack his offense. And lately, he'll protest by doing better himself. So he'll grab the ball off the glass and then he'll show them how to do it. But at some point, like, I'm going to have to ask myself, is Scottie Barnes a lead by example type of guy? Is he not a vocal leader? Is he not capable of doing that Kobe Bryant, huddle where I pull you over and I don't give a fuck who you are. I don't care if you're Karl Malone and Gary Payton. I'll pull you over and be like, we don't do that here. Is Scottie Barnes capable of doing that? Because he knows better than this. He knows. Or maybe he doesn't know. And that's a bigger problem. Maybe Scottie Barnes thinks this really is Brandon Ingram's offense.
No, I don't think that. I don't think that at all. He's too smart for that. I just think his personality, I think he is just somebody that, I don't know the guy. I'm just analyzing him from what I see. I think he's just somebody that is not afraid to rock the boat per se, but he just wants people to get it, I guess. He doesn't want to say it. He wants to like prove it with his own play, like lead by example type of guy. But sometimes you really need to like not physically harm, but like grab a guy and be like, I don't know what you're doing out there, but whatever it is, you need to stop. Right? Like a guy like KG would do that. Kobe would do that. Guys like this who would be like, this is unacceptable. This is not how we play ball here, and it's not going to fly. Right? So he needs to, and you know what? If the guy doesn't have it in him, he's not going to do it. So I don't want to force it on him, but this is his team. I think it's clear as day, personally, that this is his team. He is by far and away the best player. He is by far and away the most important and most impactful player. So he needs to grab the bull by the horns and say, this is unacceptable. And I'm going to start dictating the way things go here. And I think he needs to do that with the coach as well, because people always go back to this example of Kawhi after game 2 against the Milwaukee Bucks in the East Conference Finals. He's like, yo, I'm guarding Giannis. And everybody's like, oh, I mean, and it's like, get out of my way. I'm going to do this. And it's going to be it sets a tone for everybody else. And everybody falls in line with that leadership, right? So, yeah, I think Scottie needs to do that.
With respect to Scottie, I think he's further along and closer to doing that at 24 than Kawhi was.
Yeah, I agree. I know that's just like an example that I could think of on the top of my head.
It took Kawhi a while to get there. And I think Darko always, he brings it back like when he says, be patient with Scottie, be patient with Scottie. And it's just like everyone kind of grows and matures at their own pace. I think we can all agree that we're seeing a very, very good year from Scottie Barnes, right?
Amazing.
He's anchoring a top 3 defense after tonight in the NBA. And he's been doing it for like 50 plus games now, going back to last season.
Absolutely.
That is impressive because I don't see a Casey Wallace on this team. I don't see an Alex Caruso on this team. Honestly, is it fair to say people say Shea is like the 6th or 7th best defender in OKC? would it be fair to say Shea would be the second best defender in Toronto?
Easily, yeah.
So that's my point. The gap between Scottie's supporting cast and Shea's supporting cast defensively, the fact that they are even close defensively over the last 50 games is mental to me. That's crazy.
It's incredible.
And that really speaks to A, how underrated Scottie is. I think B, also how underrated Jakob Poeltl is, because without him it doesn't work. Also, maybe C, how underrated maybe Jamal Shed and Jacoby Walter are. You know, some of those ancillary pieces, because Scottie's certainly not doing 1-on-5.
No.
Jonathan Mobo also last year, like when we were doing really well, he was also playing a little bit. So, you know, Scottie plus one good defender is usually a recipe for a top 15 defense. Scottie plus two good defenders is usually a recipe for a top 5 defense. So if the Raptors want to continue their winning ways, I think a defensively oriented small forward would be the way to go. And if the Raptors want to get to the get to the first round and get smoked by some team, then please just keep playing this bullshit one-way basketball where there's no consequences for RJ Barrett missing rotation after rotation because he keeps closing games, right? Where there's really no reward for Jamison Battle outplaying Ochai Agbaji. Ochai Agbaji just keeps getting minutes over him. I think it's a process, and it's hard right now for us, I think, to see that this process is not going to happen overnight. Like, we are going to have to be patient and realize that all of these players are going to go through their growing pains. Scottie's going to go through growing pains. Ingram's going to go through growing pains. All these guys are going to go through growing pains. And I just don't think that it's going to all come together overnight. Like, we've almost been spoiled by the early success. We are way ahead of where I thought we would be. I think a night like tonight is frustrating because we see what could have been, but we also need to take a moment to appreciate, like, hey, man, this team's ahead of schedule. Is that a sign that they're going to be ahead of schedule 3 months from now? Maybe, right?
I hope, Rob, what I'm saying about Scottie and his lack of assertiveness personality-wise isn't an indictment on his game. I mean, the fact is he's got like I could argue 4 guys in the starting lineup that are not positive defenders. So the fact that the defense is top 5 or top 10, I mean, yeah, Poeltl's a positive defender overall, but
right.
Like,
but he's not Rudy Gobert. He's not Chad Holmgren. He's not Isaiah Hartenstein. He's not Ivica Zubac. Like, he's not, like, I heard, I was listening to Mike Roach's podcast and he had Leo Routens on, and Leo said Jakob Poeltl's a top 6 center in the NBA. And I'm like, respectfully, I love Jakob Poeltl. He's not a top 6 center in the NBA, and I can count him out real fast. He's not even close. Like, he's fringy top 15. And I think that what he does is very underrated. But yeah, like, I mean, the Raptors need to figure this out, but they will figure it out. But I think they're ahead of schedule in terms of figuring things out, if that makes sense. Like, the things that they need to figure out. Integrating Ingram was never going to be automatic. Integrating Ingram while Barnes and RJ and Emmanuel Quickley continue to get, like, close to 18 to 20 points per game, also not easy. And frankly, guys like Ochai, Jacoby, Yak, these guys have all sacrificed to make this happen. So I think the Raptors have made some very positive strides this season, like, huge. And I think the defense is the most impressive thing. And I think maybe you're right. Maybe you will be proven right that the Raptors will somehow find a way to win tomorrow, and we'll all be laughing like, only the Raptors would lose to the Hornets and then win against the New York Knicks.
I've seen it many times.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, like, I think losses tell me a lot about the team in terms of, like, who are you? What's your personality like? Like, if the Raptors come out tomorrow and they look really, really motivated, that's going to tell me something about the team. I don't care if they win or lose, but if they come out and they look like pissed off, like we fucking let one go, that to me is a very good omen for the playoffs.
Yes.
Now, if they come out tomorrow and they look hungover and they get blown up by 30, that to me is going to be like, we need a team meeting, because there obviously wasn't a healthy discussion that happened after this game, because this bus ride about to be fucking cold as hell, bro. I'm telling you right now, I might be toxic as fuck, but if I'm sitting next to Emmanuel Quickley on that bus, I'm gonna be like, bro, learn to dribble a basketball. Like, I'm crashing out on him, and that wouldn't be healthy. And I know this team is not like that. They're not like that. They're not like, yeah, maybe they're not like Fred VanVleet, and Dennis Schroeder, like, go fucking pass the ball. They're not blunt like that.
Yeah.
They're gonna encourage him. They're gonna be like, okay, next time, guys, but blah blah blah. But that film session about to be hella bad.
It's gonna be tough. Yeah, it's gonna be tough. I mean, bro, think about it like this: we're fans, and there's a bunch of people in the chat, including myself, crashing out over over one loss in like what 15 games. Imagine the players. You don't think they know that they fucked up or screwed up? Like they know. Everybody knows, right? And it's like they're the ones playing, and they're like, "Yo, we just let this slip away against the ass friggin' Hornets." Like, come on, man. And then they're gonna. I believe they're gonna show up super motivated tomorrow. I believe that. I believe they're going to go into MSG. I mean, it's MSG for God's sakes. To me, it means a lot because I grew up watching the Knicks as well. So I think they're going to go in there and they're going to play well. I think the only reason they're playing Ochai is because of trade value. They're trying to bring it up because right now it's in the gutter. So that's the only reason.
100%. All right, man. Appreciate you calling in.
Take care, Rob.
Yeah. We got Drew. Drew, what is up? Hello? Drew, are you there? I can't hear you.
Didn't unmute myself. Thank you for that. Sorry about that.
No worries.
Yeah, thanks for giving me time. I just want to bring up a couple things, a couple thoughts. A lot of people are saying Scottie needs to have the ball in his hands more.
Sure.
But I feel like what also has to happen, and I saw a lot of this at the end of the game, was that ball often wasn't going back to Scottie. Like Scottie often started with the ball or got the pass in the last 5 minutes, and then he would make a pass, but then it would die in that person's hand. And I see, like I play ball. This happens sometimes in fourth quarters when people are tired. There's not enough off-ball movement, and people don't want to pass the ball back to the person who just passed it to them. They'd rather self-create. But I think that's a huge issue with what was happening in that last 5 minutes.
Sure. Yeah, I think it just comes down to your offensive principles, right? Like there's nothing predetermined in the Raptors offense. It's a lot of read and react. It's a lot of let the defense. So you play ball. You play point guard?
No, mostly 2, 3, sometimes 4.
What level did you play at?
Just played like adult rec league.
Oh, okay, got you. Yeah, so I think the best way to learn the position is through the point guard position. So obviously, Emmanuel Quickley should have quite a bit of basketball IQ, given how much he has played the point guard position throughout his life. I think, unfortunately, sometimes when people make up their mind before the defense allows you to figure it out, like that to me bothers me. And he was asked after that Brandon Ingram game winner, when did you decide that you were going to pass to Ingram? And he said, "Oh, the second I passed half court, I knew." Right? And to me, that's a problem.
Yeah, definitely.
Because you haven't seen how the defense is set up. What if the right shot is you layup? And this is the culture that you need to get away from your young players, because this culture of AAU basketball of like, this guy is our shot taker, so he must make that. Okay, cool. I get it, right? You have a final shot, you know where it's going to go, et cetera, et cetera. And I get that pecking orders exist for a reason, but at the same time, like, you cannot be so predictable that you're going to prescript your offense, even in the context of random. The whole point of the Spurs offense and the Golden State Warriors offense was that there wasn't a predetermined script. Now, obviously, everybody is not stupid. They know if Steph is open, we're finding Steph. But if Steph is open, we're finding Steph is the point. I'm setting screens to open him up. But if they take 3 to the ball, if they put 3 defenders on Steph, Harrison Barnes, or, in this case, Andre Iguodala has to back cut. Like, and we're not just going to keep force feeding it to him because he's Steph Curry, but rather we are going to pass away from him because we're not a dumb basketball team. So it's very important, I think.
I think that point is really good. I think like using Brandon Ingram as the first option is a bad idea. Using him as a last resort is the best option.
Yes, I agree with that. And therein lies the point, right? In the first 18 seconds of the offense, I want Scottie to have control over it. One, because he's not a selfish player. If Scottie has control of the basketball, I think Scottie's dream game is 20 assists, 12 points.
Yeah.
That's his dream game. Like, he will live for the day that he can have 12 points, 20 assists. If I'm a teammate of Scottie Barnes, that excites me very much. That means every time this guy has the ball, just cut and he will find me. Relocate and he'll find me. Come off a pin down, he'll find me. This is perfect. This is great. This is the type of player you want to play with. So give him the ball and let him do that. You know what I mean? Absolutely. And he's going to find Ingram in a better position than Emmanuel Quickley. And I think the reluctance to let him do that stuff is the frustrating part for me, at least. Anyways, man, any final thoughts?
Yeah, I just had a question too. Like at the end, they really stuck with the same lineup, and it felt like the Hornets really switched it up and put on some good defense. And I feel like they really had to switch up their offense and the players to break that. Like because they weren't playing great on defense anyway. So I feel like throwing in like Dick and Mamu or something would have been a catalyst to like not
Sure.
go 20-2 or something, on points. And those guys have been huge this year for
Valid.
upping the pace, and I think that would have really helped a lot.
I agree.
And I think like you said before, maybe the coach is doing it because he wants to drive home some points to his players. But I'm scared of that because I feel like Nurse used to do that a lot too, and you can only do that so much before just if people aren't learning it, you're not going to get anything out of it.
Yeah, I think it's really difficult as a coach when you're telling a team to play a certain way, they don't play a certain way, then they go out and win, right? Because the defense is again, I've always said this: the Raptors over the last couple of games have won games on defense and lost games on offense.
Yeah,
they have had the 29th ranked the 29th ranked offense and the first ranked defense over the last 2 games. That tells me that you're winning games narrowly, by the way, on defense.
Yeah.
Because you're a mediocre team. I mean, if you're first in one thing, last in the other thing, you're dead set middle in terms of differential. And so you face 2 teams, the Cleveland Cavaliers without Darius Garland and the Indiana Pacers, and you get lucky. You beat them, right? You get lucky. They don't make shots. You make shots. Evan Mobley shits the bed. Scottie Barnes locks them down. Your defense comes up huge. And so you win. So you win playing exactly the type of basketball you've been told leads to losing. So you get a big head. You start thinking to yourself like, oh, I understand. And I would love to think that every single player is super introspective and they're able to say like, I know we won, but we didn't play winning basketball. I don't think players do that. I don't think a lot of players do that. And I think Scottie does that because even after a win, you can see him frustrated. You can be like, we just need to move the ball. We need to move the ball. So yeah, to your specific question about did we need a different lineup down the stretch? Is that specifically what you're asking?
Yeah. And I mean, like I see some people on the chat saying like, oh, these people are shooting like 31% from 3 and stuff. But if you dig deeper into the stats, I feel like the on-off court numbers for both Grady Dick and Mamu are pretty telling, like plus 12.7 offensive rating for Mamu and plus 14.4 offensive rating, like differential for Grady Dick. Like, yeah, they give up a lot on defense, but I think their presence, their cutting, their change of pace, the assists that they drive, like really could have fueled the offense when they had nothing going.
I think the offense being fueled through Sandro and Grady requires Brandon Ingram and Emmanuel Quickley to let it.
Yeah.
So if they won't let it,
one of those would have to take a seat for sure.
Exactly. So if basically, let's put it this way. This is a very Nick Nurse problem. Nurse knew that he had 2 stars who wanted to get paid, right? In Fred and Pascal. So everybody around them should have just been a defender. So he put Precious Achiuwa, Chris Boucher, Scottie Barnes, OG Anunoby, literally anybody. And, when Gary wasn't playing good defense, he said, well, if he fits us, he fits us. If he doesn't, he doesn't. Well, what he was really saying is, are you able to do all the dirty work while Pascal and Fred get all the credit? Are you able to do the Scottie Barnes thing? And Gary was like, fuck this shit. I'm out of here. So this is kind of the point that, if Ingram and Emmanuel Quickley are going to go helio ball and just kind of call their own number every time down the stretch and occasionally throw it down to Barnes, well, then Grady and Mamu are way less effective because the offense is not even going to allow them to end up with the basketball. The reason I really appreciate
you'd have to throw in Shed and someone else or something.
Well, they tried. I mean, they did try to put Shed in for Jacoby Walter, and Jack Armstrong was saying, well, it's because Shed is stronger than Jacoby Walter. I don't necessarily know if it was because Shed is stronger than Jacoby Walter. It's just hopefully what Darko was hoping was Emmanuel Quickley is shitting the bed running the offense. That's the honest answer. If I'm being really honest, the reason that Shed came in the 4th quarter for Jacoby in overtime for Jacoby is not because the Raptors were getting destroyed defensively. They continued to get destroyed defensively. It's because the offense had grinded to an absolute halt, and Darko trusts Jamal Shed more than anybody to run his offense.
Yeah, so I just don't get why they didn't pull IQ or BI. Like,
Well, this is the
at
point.
least one of them, right?
I
Because
think-
like
I
they have
think
other
you need-
lineups that showed really well before.
Exactly.
So and you see Charlotte and you see OKC like playing with their lineups even at the end of the game a lot. But like I don't agree with this old head mentality of like you got to run your starters for the last 5 minutes.
Well, Darko has been willing to bench certain players. Like he's been willing to give Grady the really quick hook. He's been willing to, he's been willing to give Ochai, multiple benchings. He's been able to give Colin Murray Boyles a quick hook. Like when it's not working, he will bench guys. Unfortunately, as a coach, I don't know if he has the power or if he's been empowered by management to say, okay, I'm going to bench RJ Barrett. I'm going to bench Brandon Ingram right now. I'm going to bench Emmanuel Quickley. And if you bench one of those guys, the entire team is now on alert, right? So if you bench Brandon Ingram and you lose because Scottie Barnes throws up an air ball with the game on the line, that's the type of thing that Brandon Ingram will never forget. So when you go against the grain and you make an unpopular decision, like it has to work. And I don't know if you burn that bridge this early in the season. You know what I mean? Like I guarantee you everything we're talking about right now makes sense to Darko Rajakovic too. Like I guarantee you he's talking about this with Jama and his coaching staff too. But they know all of this. They know for a fact that they're not going to win playing this way. And they know that probably, I'll hope they know that Emmanuel Quickley shit the bed. But also it doesn't really help to bench him because now it becomes a story. And with the Toronto media, unfortunately, Emmanuel Quickley benched Raptors win. Now Emmanuel Quickley's not feeling too good, right? So we do a hell of a lot to protect our players' egos, and that's probably a sign of Bobby Webster, honestly. We are really, really bad at negotiating with players in terms of contracts. Why? Why are we so polite? You know what I mean?
That's fair. Yeah.
It's a ineffectual leadership issue. That if coaches are being told Emmanuel Quickley and RJ Barrett are above benchings, and Emmanuel Quickley is being told like we don't want to haggle on the negotiation of 32.5, like it's almost like Emmanuel Quickley went to the table and it's like, I want 30. They're like, we'll do you one better. We'll give you 32.5 if you agree to be flat. I can almost guarantee you verbatim that negotiation went exactly like that. IQ asked for 30. They said, how about 32.5 and we'll do it flat. And they were like, we won. We won the negotiation. He agreed to a flat contract to allow us maximum flexibility. Like Kem Birch.
I hope that's not how it went down, but you're probably right.
Yeah, Kem Birch, $18 million. Who were you bargaining against there? Like who was that? You know what I mean? Thaddeus Young, $8 million a year. Who were we fighting against for that contract? Kelly Olynyk, $25 million. Chris Boucher, $36 million. What? We have given some of the dumbest contracts ever under Bobby Webster. He inspires no confidence. Now, I am very, very hopeful that this was a Masai problem and not a Bobby problem.
We'll find out soon. Yeah.
I mean, I think we signed Damari Carroll to a really ridiculous contract, and I'm pretty sure that was before Bobby Webster had any real say. So I'm just really hoping like this is a Masai problem, or besides like money's not real. Yeah. Anyways, man, thanks yourself for calling in. I really appreciate it. If you do call in again, though, you've had a lot of background noise. So if we can cut that out next time, it makes for a very tough listening experience for people.
For sure. I'll mute myself a little more too when I'm not talking.
Yeah. I think it's just your mic had a lot of background noise, and you have a lot of things moving around in the background. I don't know if you're in a really, this is just a note to every caller. Like, just please do not do that because obviously I'm going to look like an asshole if I'm telling you to mute yourself. But also, like, it just makes for a really tough listening experience. But thank you so much for calling in. Appreciate you. It's been a good conversation. Thanks, Drew.
Yeah. Thank you.
Peace. Alrighty. Okay. Well, we have talked 2 hours around this loss. It sucks. But it's not the end of the world. The Toronto Raptors will be fine. The Raptors have a lot to be happy about overall with this season. The Raptors have been a very good team. Everything we think about the Raptors is true. Okay. AG2K26 said he wasn't using a mic, I don't believe, but W caller. We winning tomorrow night, book it. I'm not going to book it, but I hope we are winning tomorrow night. Gavin Van Wold, did you ever think of AG's 3ND cutter? So a 3-and-D cutter. So this is not optimal because he's probably not a respected 3-point shooter. But how about Peyton Watson? Could be a restricted free agent, could be a sign and trade option. I don't know. Gonna be hard to get him. But Peyton Watson in Denver, not a great 3-point shooter, but he's been hitting them this year. And I could see a world in which his length, size, rim protection, and tenacity on the ball helps. Other than him, I was thinking of Herb Jones, although not a very highly respected 3-point shooter. I was thinking of Tamani Kamara, again, not a great 3-point shooter. And what I realized is, like, as I thought about 3-and-D cutters, they don't grow on trees, man. It's not easy to find that player. Aaron Nesmith might be one. Aaron Nesmith might be the perfect one. So if the Raptors want to find it, but honestly, Aaron Nesmith, Jacoby Walter, there are a lot of similarities between these two players. In fact, I'm going to do one last thing before we get out of here. No, we're not going to look at the post-game interviews. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take a look very quickly at some Jacoby Walter tape. Tomorrow for our members only live, I would like to do a little bit of a breakdown in terms of the Raptors defense and how it's so good. And I think Jacoby's going to be a really big part of that. Duck Sue said, "Hey Rob, any takes on things that need to go right for tomorrow? Jacoby's D was good enough with D Mitch athleticism, but what about with Brunson's finesse?" So this super chat locks up perfectly to what I already want to do. So thank you so much for the super chat here. And I just want to take a look at Jacoby Walter guarding Jalen Brunson. Take a look here. So this is going to be a little bit of tape on Jacoby versus Jalen Brunson, Tyrese Maxey, and also Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. This is going to be like a bit of a bonus. Okay. Can I coerce you guys into liking this video? Okay. I'll give you two awesome reasons to like this video. Number one, hold on. Let's see how many. Let me just see how many likes we got. Let's see. We got nearly 300 live listeners in here. Let's see how many likes we actually have on this video. Did Scottie call out Ingram in the post game? I think he did. I don't know if he did. But and if Ingram's as accountable as I think he is, okay, let's see here. We got 84 likes. 84. We got nearly 300 people in here. We can't get 90 likes. Can we get 90 likes? We got 90 likes now. Can I see 95 likes? No, I'm just kidding. I'm not gonna do this. Okay. Let me just pull up the Scottie Barnes post game. Obviously, Toronto Raptors lose. Who's going to be at the podium? Scottie Barnes. No shit. I do appreciate that Scottie is the guy who will take the stand when they lose, right? I appreciate that about him. Okay, let's take a listen. I'm gonna pull this off for a sec, and then we'll get to Jacoby Walter, a little bit of a film breakdown here. But yes, we take a listen to Scottie's post game. And yes, I do need a graphic on top of it. So let it be this.
What became the difference, do you think, to the end of regulation?
We missed some shots. I feel like we got the shots that we wanted. We missed some shots. We got to just do a better job of probably when they double team him, Ingram, just try to find those cuts, find those outlets of how we can help him out in those situations as well. But, we had him right there. And, they made some big shots as well. So, they did a good job of making shots and executing. But we still just got to close out that game. We have to close out that game.
Yeah.
Good job, Scott. Good job, Scott. Yes. Spoken like a true basketball savant and genius. Yes. Okay. Now let's take a look at Jacoby Walter, courtesy of this super chat. So in terms of what can Jacoby do? Okay, take a listen. These are some misses. So this is Jacoby forcing a miss on Jalen Brunson once. Take a look again. Okay, once again, gets around this screen from Precious Achua. This is last year's. You can tell by Jacoby's hair. Gets crossed up here, recovers. Probably gets away with a little bit of a foul there. Forces another miss. Here, once again, on Jalen Brunson. I love this possession. Look at that contest. That is a legal contest. That is an air ball. Jacoby is a really underrated defender. Now, here's Jacoby on Tyrese Maxey. Another all-star point guard. Shove. Gets back up. Jacoby's defensive technique is so underrated. Look at that. Beautiful defense. That was earlier this year. Look at this contest. Okay. I'll guarantee you Jacoby wouldn't have been caught with his arms down against Con Knipple. Yo, man, honestly, I'm gonna say this. Ingram saved you a game against Indiana, according to some people. Okay, cool. When you take that shot, that's great. Awesome. We're all very, very thankful. Brandon Ingram has been way more positive than negative. Nothing that I say critically about Ingram, which triggers a lot of Ingram fans for some reason. They'd be like, oh, you hating on Ingram. No, I'm not. I am not hating on Ingram. Criticizing a player that you very much believe in is not hating. It is stupid. What is, in my opinion, toxic is when people do that crazy thing where they start to like gas him up to something more than what he is, and then start advocating for the dumb things that he does, like the mistakes become like acceptable because he's somehow above the law. That to me is batshit crazy. That's bad analysis, and that's what should be called out. But unfortunately, we live in a weird tribalistic society where if you say anything negative about my favorite player, I'll be on a panel many times and Chill would be like, you know what, Penn, Scottie Barnes handle kind of clunky. You see me crashing out like, oh my God, he's hating. I am the first person who knows that. I know that. Of course I know that. His handle can be clunky as fuck. I know that. If you tell me his footwork's a little bit off balance, I get that. You think sometimes he dies on a screen and doesn't work hard enough to get around it. I can agree with that. He doesn't get up, sometimes he just gives up on a play and just allows a guy to dare shot. Okay, cool. Like I agree with all of that. Sometimes he emotionally, mentally checks out of games. I know that. These are all valid criticisms. We criticize people so they can get better. I feel like a lot of people don't take criticism well because they don't want to get better. And that to me is a problem. So once again, here, Jacoby, this is a contest on Shea. And here's another contest on Shea. Now here, Shea is going to push him off, dusts him. But as you can see, even against the best wing player in the NBA, he is still able to contest the shot, still able to make it harder, one-on-one with no help and force a miss. Now, again, I'm not saying that you're going to put Jacoby by himself on Jalen Brunson and it's going to be, curtains for Jalen Brunson. He's going to have a tough night. He's not that level of defender. It's not Herb Jones. It's not Alex Caruso. He's not that type of shut the water off type of defender, but he's a very good defender. Very good defender who, if you flank him with a little bit of help, he can be awesome for you. So this is how I feel about this team overall. This is how I feel about the Toronto Raptors. Right now, I love Jacoby in the starting lineup. Personally, if it were up to me, he'd start for the rest of the season, but I guess people don't want to hear that right now, and that's cool. Yes, he needs more pounds, and he needs to trust that when he goes up for a layup that he's not going to smoke it. Like that process where he traveled underneath the basket is just inexcusable for an NBA player to be doing that. Anyways, please hit like on this video on your way out. We'll have you covered tomorrow for the members live. I got to get to the gym right now. Otherwise, I owe my girlfriend money for the year if I don't get to the gym, and I don't want to owe her money, so I'm gonna get my ass to the gym. I'll talk to y'all later. Have a beautiful, beautiful night. Don't crash out too hard. It's all good. Hopefully, this was a bit of healthy venting on Emmanuel Quickley's process and Brandon Ingram's process and the Raptors' process overall. But let's not forget, we are a 14-6 basketball team. I think if most of us, I wouldn't be crashing out if we were 6-14. Just to be fair. I mean, I'd be disappointed, but I don't think I'd be like, oh no, the sky is falling. We're 6-14. I think 10-10 would be reasonable. So if 14-6 is where you're at after 20 games, you're on pace for like a 55, 56 win season. You're good. We're good. We're good. It's going to be fine. All right. Someone said, damn, 905 still undefeated. That's the real basketball team. Rob, how much can you bench press? I can bench press 190 right now. I used to be able to bench press 240. I haven't been able to do 240 in a very, very long time. So, yeah. I would like to eventually, maybe one day, be able to bench 260. Am I aiming too low? I don't know, but yes. This is exactly it. The 905 is actually buying in the Darko offense. Yes, and the Darko grit and the Darko defense. See, the 905 actually plays winning basketball. Scottie would love playing with the 905. He would love it. Jonathan Mobo, Chucky Hepburn, there ain't a dumb player on that team. Well, there are some dumb players on that team, no offense, but they're hardworking. And the majority of them are smart. You know what I mean? Like Julian Reese. Shout outs to Julian Reese. Shout outs to AJ Lawson. Shout outs to the 905, man. 905 is great. Elijah Martin playing well too. That is good to hear. That is good to hear. I have not caught a full 905 game. I've just been kind of absorbing the clips. But yes. Man, we will need RJ tomorrow. There's no way we can lose to 5. Hey man, they'll be missing OG. You'll be missing RJ. I say they're missing a lot more than what you're missing. So yeah, I don't think the Knicks are very beatable with OG. I think with OG, this becomes like from tough to impossible. So yeah. Battle and Mobo will come back stronger. Don't worry. Was Martin a bad pick? I still feel like he was a bad pick, but if he turns out into like this bullet defender, super strong point of attack guy who can hit threes, I'll be wrong. But he is 24 years old, so context matters here. There were rookies like Cooper Flagg who are 18 years old. He's 24. He was dominating collegiate basketball precisely because he is 5 years older than everybody else. So I have a lot more faith in Jacoby, Jameson, Jamal, Ulrich, if he ever comes back. I have a lot more faith in those guys than I do in Elijah Martin personally. But if Elijah Martin turns out, man, I'll be happy. Very happy. Chucky was a huge win, though. I agree. Chucky Hepburn has really impressed me. Another guy who would not have left Concon open for that 3. That's sad, man. I'll talk to y'all later. Have a great one. Peace.